There is a spot that's blacked out, though, right?
Yeah. You should only see the
Okay.
edge of the map.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Hearing I ask from the holy races,
Behind our suns, high and
low.
Thou,
So far the dweller relate old tales I remember of days long ago.
I remember, yes, the giants of yore, you gave me bread in the days gone by.
9 worlds I knew, but 9 with thee, with mighty roots beneath the mold.
Okay, welcome everyone. I don't know if everyone else was getting a crazy echo there, but I think the intro music was coming through someone's mic, maybe mine. But we are here for the second full session, I guess, number 3 of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and we have we're missing our Arias, our paladin, who may be along shortly. And Daisy, who came into the carnival with you, but split off from you and has gone her own way throughout the carnival. And I guess I'll give a bit of a background, or at least the first part of it. Just very short summary is you've you went to go buy tickets into the carnival, the Witchlight Carnival, and found that there were tickets there waiting for you. You're a group of friends, childhood friends, all from vastly different sort of backgrounds, and you've taken up different life pursuits, but now you've all come back together with a shared goal, something that you've like waking up from a dream. You've realised that there's been something missing in your life, whatever that may be, a physical thing, a toy, or some sort of aspect of yourself, if we go a bit more metaphysical. And the carnival's back now, 8 years later. You're young adults and have decided to come in and try to see the sights and experience it, much like many of the people from the neighbouring countryside have done. And you've had a bit of a fun time enjoying the place, taking it all in, and in doing so you've also found that other things have gone missing, other people have gone missing from the carnival as well. Not all is smiles and dancing, gaiety and lollipops. And let's see, I think it might be good if someone want to describe some of the different activities that you were doing. Any volunteers?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
That we did last time?
Yeah.
Oh, I got all that written down.
Excellent.
Well, I did catch the fairy dragon.
Catching the fairy dragon, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And I got a pair of dentures, I believe.
Wooden carved dentures. Excellent.
That's the one.
Handy.
I think the dentures came from the poem gnome.
The what?
The poem gnome?
The rhyming duel.
Yeah, the
Oh!
rhymes. Yeah.
Yes. So you engaged in a rhyming duel. There was a staring contest with the Cyclops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
It was goblin
The fairy
wrestling.
dragon.
Daisy wrestled some goblins.
Yeah. I think your old friend Daisy chowed down a humongous amount of cupcakes and muscled their way through. I think, Celeste, you didn't quite make it to the end of that. Was it you?
Didn't quite make it.
Yeah. So you pushed
Close.
through the custard barrier, and
The ring toss. We did the bubble pop teapot. Ungo and Celeste went on that.
Ah, right. Yes. One of the ones that, aside from just fun, was the carousel, and I think a couple of you had undertaken to do some repairs and repaint the names of some of the horses on the carousel. And as you did, giving them a name brought them back to life. Maintenance is king. And the carousel is a bit of a gossip monger hub, and they have memories like elephants, and they actually said that they remembered you from past times and gave you a bit of information about your lost thing, and a bit of information about what was really going on here, or just a bit of gossip. Aside from that, you then made your way to the Hall of Illusions, and it was there that you saw a creepy little girl with a pig mask looking through a mirror at this halfling, trying to drag him through. And this triggered some memories from your distant childhood, where a similar thing, I think, happened to you, Ungo. Maybe you, Celeste. No, was it Celeste? No. Franny. Yeah.
I hightailed it out of there.
Yes, yeah. And you've did some tracking and found that there's been quite a bit of foot traffic to and from a particular area, particular group or cluster of mirrors, but didn't find any latch or secret door or anything like that. But it's clearly enchanted in some way. You then went to the big top, and I think Mavis, that was where your point. What happened there?
I think at the end of the show, the men leading the show encouraged the audience to participate and show off some of their skills. So I think Frain and Celeste provided some background music, while Mavis conjured the puppet using magic, and there's some expressive dancing.
Right, yeah. So it was like the old open mic at the comedy club, and they're not necessarily expecting, but it's always good for a laugh. But the three of you pulled off a quite entertaining show, definitely. So much so that as everyone made their way out of that big top, one of the Witchlight hands came to you and said, "Oh, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light would like a word," and so you find yourself now having made your way to the entrance to the staff area, and you tried to go in through here before, and there was this huge bugbear with blue dungarees and a carved pumpkin for a helmet. And you approach, and it looks very odd. Despite the dungaree, that there being this huge, hairy, muscular bugbear, he's got an underbite with two tusks coming up, but he's got this pumpkin helmet and fairy wings strapped across his back. They don't quite even protrude past his shoulder blades, just a little bit. The glint off the lights is there, and as you approach, he sort of lifts up a hand and grunts sort of to you. And here we find you in front of a wall of thorny bushes with Burley, who you know of as the brother of, I think, Hurley, who you met 8 years ago. Anyone want to say anything? Or?
No.
We're waiting for Mr. Light.
He's in there, just waiting.
Okay, he looks at you quizzically, and his head sort of cocks to one side like a puppy, and folds his arms.
So where is he then?
Where's who?
Didn't you say someone wanted to see us?
Oh, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, yes. And he sort of turns around, And he does this sort of Moses act, lifts up his arms, and tries to do it quite casually. It's hard to do a magical gesture casually like this. It takes 2 arms widespread. And you see there that bugbears have got very long arms. It probably would be able to whack you from 10 feet away. Let's see. And these thorns part and just move apart. They sort of grow like a fast forwarded stop motion growth. And I'm just going to show you. Yes. And he gestures and then turns and starts to walk. And he squeezes between 2 caravans and then looks back over his shoulder and says, "Oh, go on."
So that's very interesting display. But have you considered investing in a door? Might be much easier. And they'll just walk past.
Okay.
Go in.
And he moves over, and you can see off in the distance there's a larger tent, and the mime that you saw earlier is looking at you both, looking a little bit worried, a little bit apprehensive, and then he sort of glances away as if he's not really watching you, and he just sort of moves over and sits on a chair by a harp and starts sort of plucking it.
Uh-huh.
And Burley stands at the circle and he sort of looks at over at Candlefoot. I think you know this character's name. He's the one who was giving you admission into the Hall of Mirrors before.
Mm-hmm.
And Hurley moves on and he passes this aging clown. I've got another handout for you. And he's got this long, droopy pipe, and he's looking at you with a bit of a grimace. And then as he puts the end of the pipe in his mouth, there's this bloop, 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 and little bubbles, shiny bubbles are coming out of his pipe. And he looks like he's on watch or on guard by the entrance to this tent.
Can I do a quick insight check to see if he carrying any weapons?
Sure.
Concealed or otherwise?
Yeah, you give him a once over. Roll your insight.
Mm-hmm. Where was it? They show up? Yeah. I probably don't see anything.
No go.
Yep. Did you see it?
Okay. No, what's the number?
6.
Okay.
Should be in chat.
No, yeah, yep. I'm flipping between multiple screens here, so I'm not always seeing the chat. Okay. So with it, you give him the once over, and you don't spot anything, but he is wearing very flouncy sort of clothes. Ruffle around his neck, puffy sleeves, puffy legs, and and then Burley sort of completely ignores this clown, and steps up to this particularly ostentatious wagon. The clown's bubbling away at nothing, but he's glaring at the Bugbear as well. And the Bugbear says, "Out the way!" And he opens the wagon door and reaches, and the clown sort of steps quite slowly to one side, and the door opens. And in the chat, you'll see you see two elves, a flamboyant one, slender, and you will have recognised him as the one who opened the affair at the big top. And he says, "Oh, pleased to come in. It's a delight to meet you all. I am Mr. Light, and this is my associate, Mr. Witch." And he gestures behind himself to a stocky elf lounging on a bunk. He's got a top hat, which he takes off and puts next to him, hanging on a stand.
I felt like we've met these two before, but I can't recall. I think it was in like when we came here. When we
Yes, you have. You were brought before them, or at least, yeah, it was both of them, I believe.
Yep. It's
Somebody wanna
still
talk
just
to them?
intimidating as the.
Maybe.
They wanted to talk with us, so let them go first.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, one of them says to you, I'm just still searching for this handout. Here we go. One of them says, "Very good job. I heard about your performance."
Is it an employment interview then?
Oh, no, no. You are our customers, our visiting guests. Can you see the handout that I've just displayed?
Yep.
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 So you can see the one that's talking is the one closest to you, Mr. Witch.
Uh-huh.
Well, if it isn't about a job,
Sinister looking.
Hmm?
They look sinister.
Now, you hear this, "It's all right, boss." And there's this, you look behind you or off to one side, and there's this clown, and he's got like a switchblade, and he's just cleaning his nails.
Uh-huh.
And they say, "Oh, nothing to worry about, Thaco. Off you go. We're just having a little chat." He says, "Please, please come in," with a flamboyant grin. "Welcome you with this from ear to ear," executes this very theatrical, elaborate bow. "It is a delight to meet you all. We are so happy. Can you not hear it?" And the calliope music does feel a little bit chipper.
Celeste curtsies back before she walks towards the tent.
Okay. He says, "We're eager. We've noticed and heard little birds whispering to us. You seem to be motivated somehow by something other than just cupcakes and lollipops. What are your reasons for visiting the carnival?" And Mr. Light squinting at you like he's burning his insight checks.
Well, to be perfectly candid, I think I might have left something here last time we visited,
Okay.
and I'm very, very, very keen on taking it back.
Okay. They share a glance at your mention of that, and give a bit of a. I don't know if you can see it on the. With me, I'm sort of just giving a bit of a cock on my head, bit of a nod to one another, and Mr. Light he's still squinting, but he just gives a slow nod of acknowledgement.
So I take it isn't really an uncommon occurrence in this spot.
Oh, things get lost all the time. It's a exuberant place.
I guess.
But my understanding is that we haven't lost material goods. We've lost something a little bit closer to us. So I'm not sure I want it back.
I see. He says, well, you must understand, we can't be held responsible for things that get lost within the carnival. Forces are at work on the other side. And Mr. Light adds in, entirely beyond our control. He says, yes, this is Mr. I'm going to flip back. Hopefully you'll tell by my change in tone.
It's good.
The wheel of time turns ever on. What's lost is lost, and what's gone is sadly gone.
Ungo jumps in. I want to find who is responsible.
Oh, well then. I'm not sure that we can say who's responsible. Who's to say, really?
We have clues.
You do? And he shares another glance. And what about you, young lady? Mr. Light turns to you, Celeste.
I think I'm looking for something as well. Or someone, or something. I'm not sure.
Well, who can say? There is a lost property section. You could go and meet Dilagron.
Tell him about the pig face, Celeste.
Oh, yeah. We were talking to the horses at the carousel, and there was a girl with a pig mask. And I think she has what I'm missing.
Okay. Celeste and Phryne, you're closest there to Mr. Light. Can I get you to roll insight checks?
That's my best skill. That is not my best skill.
Oh my god. Okay, so
Better than mine.
okay. We've got a natural one. You don't notice anything. However, Phryne, you're looking there over Celeste's shoulder, or just past her as she's talking to Mr. Light. You get a sense that you don't know what or why, but he's being deceptive or trying to conceal something. Not physically, just not trying to give something away. He says, well, it's been pleasant meeting you all, and you are definitely our favourites at this point of the evening, and I think that you'll find waiting till the dawn, there's still a few more hours, you can enjoy any more sights. Have you been down to the southern end?
Yes. There's games down there.
There are, yes. Oh no, beyond. There's the Pixie Kingdom and the snail races.
Do you know how to get to... Shit, what was that place called? Prismia. Prismia.
Oh, there's many gates and many doors. It's a world away. But, can you roll it? That's Ungo, was it?
Yeah, that was Ungo.
Yeah, okay. Where are you, Ungo? Oh, yeah, you're there. Can I get you to roll an insight as well, please? You can do it. We'll do this with advantage, just getting some support from the others rather than just 2 rolls.
12.
Okay. So similar to Celeste, you get a bit of an insight that he's being deceptive, but not anything else.
Right.
He says, Thaco, our guests will be leaving, and Mr. Light pulls this pocket watch out of his pocket and flips it and looks quizzically at it, and then looks up and listens to the music again, and then flips it back and puts it back in.
Is that it then? He just come here just to ask questions. Is that a custom around here? Is it something you normally do with all of your guests?
Oh no! This was just because we were interested in what brought you here, and heard about the fabulous show you put on.
Well, if you are such a fabulous guest, perhaps you could do us a small favor and simply aid us in our quests.
Oh, what?
We are here for a specific purpose. It seems that it isn't an isolated incident, which happens over years at least. As the owners of this fine establishment, I'm fairly certain you are very well aware of whatever is going on in here, and I kindly request that you aid us.
Well, let's see how we go for the rest of the evening. There's still a few more hours yet. How about if you? I know what we can do. I can see you're feeling down in the dumps, and we can't have that. Thaco. And Thaco sort of shuffles over. He says, he's a clown of few words, but many talents. And Thaco sort of looks at you. Let's see. Looks at you, Franny. And then he pulls out this balloon and blows it up. Big long one. And then goes, there's all this squeaking and squeaking. And he makes an owlbear for you.
Ooh.
And he gives it to you.
Here, take it.
Okay. Celeste.
I'm like, I'm gonna name her Juniper.
Juniper. It does have and in fact, he's done it in this. The balloon is the same colour as the eyebrows on Juniper were. Juniper had these sort of fairly bright blue, like a splendid wren eyebrows. And this is vibrant blue balloon. Celeste, is there any animal that you might have affinity with?
Not particularly, no. Maybe, no. Nothing in particular.
Okay. Well, he looks at you and then thinks a bit, and then looks at you a bit more and thinks a bit, and then he goes, and it's a black balloon. And it looks like a cat, but then he's about to give it to you, and then he shakes his head. And he gets two more big long balloons and then nods to himself and gives it to you. And it looks like a displacer beast.
Ooh. Celeste is happy.
Okay. And how about you, Ungo?
I like wolves.
Okay. Well, you might be thinking it. That's me asking asking
Okay.
asking
like
David.
wolves.
Okay, so Thaco again. It's a pale grey, and he does you a balloon wolf.
Cool.
And lastly, Mavis.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Animals, they're dirty.
All right. He looks at you and he sort of frowns to himself a bit.
And whatever he's doing, Mavis is just gonna deadpan stare right into his eyes for the entire process.
Okay. Squeak, 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 squeak. And he makes you it's not an animal. In this case, it's like a fashion, like a musical instrument. And he gives it to you. Are you going to take it, or are you doing the death stare?
I would just keep on staring.
He shrugs and pulls out a pin and sort of waggles his head and pops it. Shrugs and then gets out his switch knife and starts cleaning his nails again. Every now and then, though, he sort of looks under his bushy eyebrows at you that have got all the white powder on them. Well, it's time for us to move on. Burley, would you escort our guests? And Mr. Witch and Mr. Light go back inside their tent.
But wait a minute, guys. We're not here for animals. What about the hags and cow pig or pig face or whatever?
I'm just gonna like step my head. I was just like, I don't think they're gonna tell us. I think they have to find their own way.
Burley turns to you and he sort of nods towards again with a big grunt and a growl and a gesture. And he says, a word.
A word? That's intriguing. I mean, if he can manage it.
Yeah, let's go with him for a word.
Okay. Thaco watches Burley go off with you towards the edge with a sort of fairly suspicious look. And at this point, Candlefoot is sitting on another purple chair playing a mandolin. And as you move to the what are they called? To the vines, he sort of Burley turns and takes his helmet off. And you can see that his expression under the helmet is very worried. And he says to you, bad things have been happening for a while. People, things go missing.
Is there any hint of where all of this ends up in the end?
He says they go to the other side.
We would like to go to the other side.
Other side of what?
The Feywild, I expect.
Oh.
He says.
Is there any? Go ahead.
He says. I'm switching between DM voice, and then he says, "Hello." Let's see, where are we? Yeah, my bosses, the boss, they know more than they're telling you, but their hands are tied, their vows. And you lot are the first people I've met who might be able to set things right, I guess. And let me see. Phryne, you can tell that Candlefoot is just listening in on this whole conversation. Sort of, he's pretending to play the mandolin, but he's half turned his head towards you.
Who's he gonna tell? He can't tell anyone.
Burley says Witch and Light are good guys, but you need something over him to make him spill the beans.
You mentioned their lips are sealed. An idea by whom?
Sorry, I missed that.
So, you mentioned that their lips are sealed because of a vow. An idea who might have imposed such a vow upon them?
I don't know, but if it's the Feywild, fairy curses can be binding or very destructive to go against.
I see. Well, the only thing left to ask from me, at least, is there any way that you could aid us into finding the way towards the other side?
Okay. He says, well, they've got their stuff. Maybe you could steal their stuff, their precious stuff, and make him tell you. Mr. Witch has got his wand, his carnival vein, and Mr. Light's got his watch, his pocket watch. Good time to do that would be nick it from them when they're distracted. Maybe even at the crowning at the end of the night.
End of the night. Thank you.
And
Thank you for the information.
And with that, Candlefoot sort of hops up and turns around and waves his hands as if gesturing that that's a bad idea.
Well, do you have any?
I
See what you
have
think.
to agree with him. Just like gesturing to Candlefoot, because I mean, like, look at our group. We're not the most stealthy.
I can do it.
I think before planning grand larceny in front of our potential victims, I think we should go somewhere else.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas? He says to
He says,
Candlefoot as if he could talk.
well, Burley gestures through the vine fence for you to go through, and he says, "Have a think about it, but it needs doing." The vines close behind you, and you can see hopping along is Candlefoot, and he's quite excited.
He
Really
came outside
excited.
with us?
Yeah, he slipped through.
Okay.
And he just, I'm not, I don't know if I'm going to mime all this, but
Do it, Mime.
he
Nope, you gotta mime it.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on.
A book. Right.
Okay.
okay. This is gonna be great for the podcast, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you get he's gesturing about a book, and then gestures like with his mouth.
Just secret? No, you need a book to write with.
No,
And,
the first thing I think.
Yeah. So and he points at you you're on the money with secrets. Says there's secrets in this book, and then he points over to and gestures for the big tent.
The big top.
He's gesturing.
Ah.
He's gesturing
Oh, no.
back the way you came.
Okay. Is the buffet closed?
Mr.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Witch and Mr. Light have a book?
Yes.
Is that what he's saying?
Sorry.
I said, is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Will that book help us to get to the other side?
He shrugs, but he gestures does that symbol for secrets that Ungai picked up on.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh, can't hurt to
I
get
think
the
we
book.
need this book.
Sounds like we can come back here later, right? Maybe we'll try again.
He does another mime to you. I'm going to have another crack at it. He points
Go
at his wrist.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
We're on a time crunch.
When?
The
The
crowning.
crowning.
The crowning, okay.
All right, that's just going to be podcast gold. Charades. Okay, so he points at his voice box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Lost
you
his
lost
voice?
your voice. Sweet, we got it. It's clear.
A flying crocodile?
I'm flapping my arms wildly
Is
for
that-
everyone listening at home, all the mums and dads and my nan.
It's like, I believe what he's referring to is that he has lost his voice. Because this
The
lovely
bird?
gentleman is Juniper's parent. And he was a right chatterbox the first time we met him.
He was.
A pirate?
Okay.
Parent.
Parent.
Juniper's owner.
Oh,
And so he shrugs and gestures the crown and as a timing. And then
A rabbit
Yeah.
took it?
I think he means us trying to stay being stealthy.
Oh.
Do you have any sense of how many hours are left till the ceremony?
yeah, there's still 3 hours left. You've only just come out of the
Big Top.
Big Top, and that's at midnight. And
Oh, we do have some time to kill.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just checking for my phone. It's not here though. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to move us on the map. I'll pick us up as we are there. Let's see. Ungo, Candlefoot can stay behind. I don't think we're going to see Arias at this stage. He's lost. But I'm going to move us all back.
I think he's playing Final Fantasy.
Okay, excellent. Just what you need. Yeah, that's Discord dobbing you in, right?
Yeah, it is. Discord's a snitch.
So perhaps before we make our great plan, maybe we could try to pool our resources, see what we have at our disposition.
Okay.
What do you fellows think?
I don't know. So we're just gonna continue screwing around in the carnival, I guess.
I mean,
Well, Candlefoot did kind of just point us in the direction of the south where the snail racing and the mystery mall.
All right.
I mean, that was Mr. Light or Witch.
That's
Could that have been the dragonfly, the flapping, and then this thing?
Possibly. I sense more of a bird of some sort. Have we met any Kenkus in here?
Can you roll a? Yeah, I'll make it a perception.
Perception. Okay.
That's just being observant, not figuring out. So I think that's right.
Probably not. I think that's 10.
Okay.
But that's a question to everyone, so...
Yeah. It's not everyone that gets to roll. Though. Actually, anyone who wants to roll can, but if you fail, you might make it harder.
I didn't quite hear the question. What was the question?
have we seen any Kenkus? It's like a bird people.
Like an Aarakocra?
Oh, I rolled a 7.
Kinda.
Yeah.
18.
Okay.
What is it?
Ungo, you're the only one who might have seen a bird person in the north end. You know, when you're all eating cupcakes and...
By the feasting orchard?
Yeah.
All right. Ungo will relate that. It was over by the...
It might not have been in the feasting orchard, but it was, you know how there's pathways between different places, so... But it was definitely up that top end.
Maybe by the dragonfly rides. I don't know.
Oh. How big is this place? How long would it take us to make a whole round trip?
Oh, you could spend probably 20 minutes doing a little figure eight. It's not huge.
Oh.
Well, we can make our rounds. Keep an
Okay.
eye out
Okay.
for any bird or flying things with big mouths or beaks.
Okay. So,
First,
Sorry?
maybe head north first, since that's where we saw them last. Or do you want to go south?
It's been a while. It's not necessary. It's not necessary that they stick around to one place.
yep.
But
Was that... Did I see a patron or like a worker? As a bird person.
No one is. Just Ungo vaguely recalls seeing a bird person in the crowd, like walking past one. But
Okay, so just like a patron.
oh, likely. But you can't. You just remember seeing someone with a
Okay.
with a bird head.
Bird head.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I'm just moving you as a little squad here. You're between the calliope and the big top. Do you want to go left or right or straight through the guts of it?
Doesn't really matter. I suggest left.
Okay. I think Mavis is up the front there, so you're moving around. I'm just going to keep those rolls, unfortunately, Celeste and Friday.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And keep my eyes out for any more bird people.
Yeah.
I'll say that if there's anything other interesting, like the Silver Song Lake or whatnot, if someone wants to have a go.
One thing you notice. Let's see. Is this? You can hear this joyful, exuberant play, sort of squealing of delight from festival goers, and striding doof, 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 is this enormous living animated tree.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's got this big sort of afro in orange leaves, remembering it's autumn. And there's this squirrel skittering around all over it, going berserk. And as the tree walks, it sort of smiles slowly left and right and gestures. And as it does, it then shakes its head, and all these falling seeds, sycamore seeds that spin like a little helicopter, and then they sort of kick upside down, and they fall erratically. And people are trying to catch them.
Huh.
And you've just walked under the canopy effectively, and he looks down and smiles at you and gestures around, and then does a shake of his head.
Catch.
Yep. If anyone wants to have one go, they can try a dexterity check.
Ungo will have one go.
Okay.
Yep, obviously.
Alright.
I'll have a go too.
Okay.
Dex check, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna get hit in the face.
So we've got a 15 from Celeste, a 12 and a 10, and one more, I think.
2 12s.
Two 12s, yes. Okay, so Ungo, you're the first to catch one, and you do it. And as you catch it, can you roll a D? Can you roll a D8 for me?
6.
Okay, it turns into a gold piece.
A gold piece?
Yes.
Oh, I'm rich.
And that was Ungo. Celeste, do you want to roll a D8 for me?
A 1.
A 1. Oh my God! You grasp it and just feel just so overwhelmed with joy as you managed to caught it. You weren't expecting to, and you snatched it out of the air, and you gain a personality trait. You are easily amused.
Sounds about right.
And if you've got a conflicting personality trait, it will suppress that one. Just last a day. Okay, and Phryne, can you roll a D8? You caught it as well. With your 10. It almost slipped through your fingers.
Dex is not my best.
Yes, but you did it.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yours turns into a gold piece as well, Mavis, and you can add this to your. It's permanent. Add it to your character sheet.
Oh,
Mavis has
another
got an 8. Wow. Okay, so you get it, and just feel a pulse of luck overwhelm you, and you can add a D8 to an ability check.
Oh, but I got inspiration.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, inspiration.
Like a bardic inspiration
Yes.
for a bard.
Yep.
Nice.
It'll last until the next dawn.
Okay. Not really sure where do I put that on the character sheet.
You could just treat it as inspiration.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just the
Add it to your stealth.
yeah.
Because I needed to steal something.
You might need it.
Yeah.
And this squirrel comes skittering around, and for everyone who catches one, it hands out a dandelion.
Okay.
It turns its head, chitters to you, and as it chitters, squeaks in its little squirrel voice. Make a wish, and you can see someone who's just been handed one. Some of the other festival goers making a wish, and then blows the dandelion.
Alright.
And
I
so,
close my eyes,
okay,
think real hard, and then blow it. Blow the dandelion.
okay, and let's see. Now, what you can do, the little squirrel puts up a finger over its lips. And just briefly, I'm going to move us into the cone of silence. So, where are we? Anthony? One second. Okay, Celeste, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that was Phryne at first, though.
That's okay. We'll capture yours as we are. What's your wish?
Okay. I wish to know who the person is that I see in my dreams.
Okay, and you know who that is, but
Yeah.
Celeste doesn't. Okay, cool. I'm going to move you back and cycle.
So does she
through.
know who it is now?
No, you just have to write down what that wish is on your character sheet somewhere. So
Okay.
so we don't lose it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Franny, what is your wish?
I don't actually have a wish.
Okay. So when you say I wish for and then you blow it, what are you thinking of?
I would like to see. Actually, I would love. My wish is for Friday to be able to deliver her teacher's last will and testament to his wife and
Last will and testament to her. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get you to write that down just as a sentence onto your character sheet somewhere, into your bio or.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Oh, this is all going in notes.
Yeah. All right. I'll move you back. Okay, Mavis, what are you wishing for as you blow this dandelion?
To find a way into the light.
What's that? Sorry.
Find a way to the other side.
Okay. All right. Can you write that down in your character sheet somewhere?
I'll put it in like notes.
Yeah, in notes or whatnot. So find the way to the other side. It needs to be verbatim. Okay, great. And I'll just grab Ungo and see what he's wishing for.
Okay.
Okay, Ungo, you blow the dandelion. Yeah. What's going through your head? What do you wish for?
Ungo wishes that we make our way to Prismia.
Okay.
He just wants his shadow back, and he doesn't want to lose out on this opportunity.
Okay, so if you can write down that phrase in your notes and on your character sheet somewhere, or in the bio or whatnot.
Okay.
I want to make my way to Prismia, I think it was.
Yeah.
and or I want because I want my shadow back, or just put that.
Ungo wishes to make his way to Prismia to get his shadow back.
Okay, great. So if you put that into your notes somewhere, so we can get
put it in the other section of the notes.
Yeah, it's a secret. So
yep,
whatever works for you. All right, and then we'll move back. Okay, we are back. And I think... Okay. All right, so everyone makes their wish. I just wanted to make sure I can capture it by moving to a different chat without... One of the benefits of the online play. Right, so that was one little encounter on the way. Let's see. Yeah, I think Mavis, you mentioned you were listening out, and you pass Silversong Lake and see that there's a crowd gathering, and there's a mist gathering at the bank of this shimmering lake. Near its centre, there's a mermaid lounging in this giant bowl. The bowl seems to be floating, maybe even levitating, just above the water, and the singing is magnificent, haunting. And it seems to have captivated all the spectators on the lakeshore, that everyone that walks past stops. It's like when there's a really good busker in the streets.
Oh, Mavis doesn't pay any attention. Just keeps on going.
What about everyone else?
Celeste is easily amused, so she's going to walk towards it.
Yeah, okay. All right. And the others?
Have a look. We have time. I know.
Ungo's going to look
Yeah,
to see if
Celeste grabs
there's
Phrynes.
any bird people over there.
Yeah, okay. So there's a big crowd there. It might take a while to have a big look around, but in response to this haunting song, the lake water coalesces and seems to be moving and rising, almost like a living sculpture. And it's whirling around her as she performs her song. I may have, once again, a handout for you. And
Celeste grabs Phrynes' hand and says, "Let's go closer, let's go closer."
Exactly. We are butting up, so we don't get lost in this big path.
Is there something Ungo can climb to get a better look around, because he's very short?
Yes. So there's Palasha, the mermaid.
Yep.
And there are trees hereabouts, or even stalls. If you want to go back a little bit, there's a place to get. You might find a way to sort of wriggle through the crowd as well.
He doesn't like wriggling through crowds. That's not on his agenda.
Oh, okay, yeah. Or if you hang back a bit, you'll find something to climb. No problem.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't cost anything. There's no ticket punch or anything to come and listen to the song. But the audience just seem rapt, witnessing her beauty and hearing her song. And her singing seems to be able to control the water. And eventually you see like koi, magnificently colourful fish that seem to also obey her command, and they start dancing and swimming in synchronised swimming around her in tune to the water. And after watching this for a little while, I think, Mavis, you're probably just shifting from foot to foot, I guess, or looking to get...
Yeah, just waiting for everyone else.
Yeah, okay.
Looking a bit impatient.
Yeah, all right.
Does it look like that the rest of the crowd that are gathered kind of like magically entranced by a lovely mermaid?
You can do an Arcana check for me if you like.
Always. I do not know.
Okay.
That was
So-
a 6.
They look like they're enjoying it, but you don't know why, beyond it being incredible.
It's a nice song.
That seems like a good enough reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. They look like they're enjoying it, but you don't know why, beyond it being incredible.
That seems like a good enough reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, out of character, you're like sirens, like mermaids, they lure sailors to their death. In character, I'm like, it's a good song.
Yeah.
I like it. They just like the song.
You hear this voice cry out, though. Oh my God, that sounds ridiculous. Won't you just shut up? And she sort of...
I'm gonna turn to find the sound.
Okay. Can you roll a perception, please?
Oh god. I don't know how to do this. Okay. Yeah!
Oh my God.
Nice.
Okay. So you look around and you see that there's a patron not too far away from you, looking with absolute contempt at Palasha. But your perception is good enough to tell that it's not that they're particularly mean-spirited towards Palasha, almost as if they're just having a bit of a snigger at spoiling the show. They don't seem to notice you, and then they call out again, "What's the opposite of encore?"
Stop? I think it's stop.
How do I delete a song? And rewind. And Palasha seems to be getting unnerved by this, and her voice even falters. She manages to pick up and keep singing.
I'm just gonna give Mavis a bit of a nudge. I was like, you're a bard, help her out. Encourage the crowd. I don't want to talk for shit.
As far as I'm concerned, we are clients here, not the performance. I did my bit. We have other things to do.
Yeah. And I helped you.
Well, then you are certainly very capable in this regard yourself. Go ahead.
I was just Pryor just look Bray Sky was like, oh, give me strength.
Understandable. But yeah, Bob is totally, completely unmoved by the melody.
It's funny because she's a carrot.
Celeste, you notice that let's see. The character's looking to about ready to dart off. And Phryne, you're there too. Yeah, and Ungo, you can see that this character is sort of shifting and moving amongst the crowd. But you can clearly see that it's that it looks like there's 3 or 4 different hecklers. It's the same person, and their face shifts and changes.
Ooh. They look different each time?
Yep.
Okay. They're leaving the crowd now?
Yes.
Where are they going?
Just heading back into the crowd and moving around to the other side.
Okay. Ungo's just going to wait until they, leave.
Okay.
Just track them.
Okay. Now the rest of you might see Ungo climb down his pole. What do you want to do?
Well, I know what it's like to be heckled at a performance. She would have been a bard if she wasn't called to a holier thing on.
Yes. One thing with
I'm just gonna give like an NPC a bit of a nudge, and it's just like, can you believe that asshole that was heckling this beautiful mermaid? Like, we should cheer her on to show that we enjoy her singing. And I'm just like, I can roll persuasion, but I'm gonna probably not gonna.
Go for it. Well, yes. Okay.
Mav is gonna roll his eyes, and if I can give it advantage, like help action.
Okay, no problem.
We use what is called minor illusion to like produce a sound of small applause and cheering all around, like
Okay.
between people.
Ooh.
Okay.
Stand backwards.
Yeah, heckler's the worst.
So you can roll again for advantage.
Yeah, you can roll twice and take the highest number there, Franny.
This one. Oh,
Nice.
20.
Okay. All right, she does stop singing, but only to look towards you, Franny. Let's have a look.
It's like, yeah, go for it.
And then she leaps up out of her bowl and then splashes in the lake itself. And you can see that she's starting to cruise on over towards you.
I'm just gonna look at Celeste and was like, is she coming this way?
Yeah, she does. She rises up out of the water just from the waist up, and you can see that she's probably treading water, or what are you called? Whatever you do with when you're a dolphin, just half out of the water. And she sort of holds out her hand, gesturing towards you.
Is there something in her hand?
No. And she sort of
She's here with her.
gestures for you to come on down to the water's edge.
Oh, no. That's like, I'm
Celeste
gonna
is
do
going to
it.
encourage you. Like, let's go, go. Oh, she wants you.
Okay.
Okay,
And she's
okay. I'm just gonna be like, okay, if I die, make sure I don't come back.
all right. And she looks at you with these kindly eyes, and then she starts to, like in The Fifth Element or something, she starts to sing this sort of operatic, haunting voice. Oh, I'm not going to do it.
Now you have to do it.
And there's this haunting, ghostly sound, and then she gestures for you to join in.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, is your camera meant to be on or off, Franny? Just checking.
Oh, it's supposed to be on.
That's right.
I don't
I
know why
noticed
it
it was
turned
off.
off.
That's all right.
When we got moved around between the cone of silence, that's when
yeah.
got turned off.
Okay.
Okay. She doesn't sing, but she can try.
And she
All right, I'm
gestures
just
for
gonna
you.
roll performance then.
Okay.
Hey, 20.
What? Okay. All right. And so
I have high performance.
so you start singing and joining in with her, and you start to match her. Now you can't quite go the, four octaves or so that she can go, but you can harmonise. And she even, over the course of finishing this song, she, through gestures and then helping you, gives you a bit of a singing lesson.
No.
And with that, we'll just switch attention back to, I think, Ungo and Celeste. I think you and Mavis. Oh no, Mavis was there helping out with the applause. So
Yep.
Celeste and Ungo, you see this.
It was over. I was over with the mermaid as well. I think it was
okay.
just Ungo.
Okay, so Ungo, you're tracking this character, and he shifts, and the whole face shifts, and there's this sort of black bird with arms and legs.
Blackbird. Oh, it's the Birdman. I found him.
You're alone, man. So
Yeah, he's talking to himself. Where is this creature? Did it leave the crowd? Is it? Where is it?
He's doing his best at doing a sort of lurking type walk,
Uh-huh.
and this has happened between a couple of tents.
Okay, where is everybody else in the crowd? Did Mavis go over there? Where's Mavis?
Mavis is with the other two at the Silver Swan Lake. You're only 50 yards or so away.
No, I don't think I have any way to alert them that I can think of off the top of my head, so I might have to just run after this guy by myself. I don't know.
Okay.
How far away are they?
Probably about 50 feet. I said yards, but not far.
What's the range on minor illusion?
Give me a second. Suppose 30 feet.
It's too far.
So
You
how
can
far
be creative with it.
Yeah, how far is the bird guy?
Oh, he's
From
only
me.
about 20 feet away from you, maybe even less. You're walking down the lane looking for him, and you spot him between two tents, shifting from a human to a birdman.
Okay, cool. I guess I can probably just. I think Ungo honestly would probably just creep after him quietly. Like I thought of some creative things, but he would just follow him.
Okay. All right. So you're just following. I'm just going to roll. Like he's not aware that someone's onto him, so I'm just going to roll for where he's going to go. All right. So he starts to make his way back to Silver Swan Lake and insert himself back into the crowd. But before he does that, he shifts himself back into a different human again.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to get somewhere where I can see him, and now that he is back in the crowd and not going anywhere.
Yep.
Let me get out that puppet you gave. I won. That wizard finger puppet that does magic illusion.
Yep.
Does minor illusion. And let me look at minor illusion real quick before I say what's going to happen. I want to put some kind of a marker over his head to that everyone will see, like right here.
There you go in the chat.
There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do a little thing. So the wizard casts a spell, and then filling the 5-foot cube about 10 feet in the air above this guy. Well, no, right above him. So the end of this big arrow, like a big flashing arrow, right? Like right over his head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
above the arrow is the picture of like a bird head and beak, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like it's also like flashing. It's like right. In the hopes that my team notices that.
Okay, so everyone can roll a perception with advantage.
Advantage. Nice.
It's a big neon sign. It might be neon, but I do not see it.
Okay. Well, with Celeste and Mavis both spotted it in any case, but I guess you're a little bit preoccupied, Franny, with Palasha.
Yeah, she's putting me under a lot of stress.
Okay, so spatially, how are we distributed?
You can see on the map here, so I'll put you over this is just relative. So one square's probably 30 feet. The main group are over near the water's edge, something like that, with Franny getting her singing lesson. Oh, I need to put in, let's see. There we go.
Oh, it's a... Okay.
Instead of an arrow, I want it to be a finger pointing like this.
Okay.
That looks like Ungo's hand.
Okay. And you all know about Ungo's giant glove hands.
Yep.
And you see this hand, and you know that Ungo's giving you a sign, pointing. Celeste and Mavis, you're the two that are least distracted. Anything you want to do at this point? You can tell that.
Mavis will just casually, kind of, as much as he can, among the crowd, just walk to cut off the bird person's mean of escaping, kind of surround them.
Okay, so
Like not like right into them, just maybe 10 feet away.
yeah, okay. So you're probably a little over 10 feet away there anyway because of the scale. What about you, Celeste?
Celeste would grab Bryony by the arm and be like, "Look, look!" And she kind of giggled and pointed towards the hand.
Okay. Well,
Oh, this time gonna look.
Palasha moves back into the reeds and starts to restart her next performance. So, Phryne, if you want to go along with Celeste.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this Kenku doesn't seem to notice that you're all getting around him.
What does he look like right now?
Sneaky.
Um,
You said he took like a humanoid form. Like
yeah, just a human sort of farmer type. But when he calls, you hear him say to someone, "Excuse me, I'm coming through. Can you please make way?" And he has this very voice for radio.
It's a stolen voice. You guys recognize the stolen voice? Candlefoot's voice.
I don't know how common are kenkus in the world here.
No, it's not. It would be rare. So
Very rare.
Might not know what they're like, but I think Ungo and Phryne, you both heard this voice when you spoke to Candlefoot 8 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So did Ungo see everybody else move over there?
Yes. Yeah, you're well aware of each other now.
Cool.
The tigers are circling.
I'm not sure what we should do, though.
Now you've got him. What are you going to do with him?
We need a word with you.
Fine, first instinct, Phryne's gonna go grab his wrist. Like, where did you get that voice?
Okay. He goes to he goes to dash off. Can you roll a athletics, please, Phryne?
Oh, that's strength. Okay. 16.
Ooh. Okay, and he tries to wriggle out of it, but your vice-like grip is preventing him from leaving. Does anyone else want to do anything? He looks like he could jerk free eventually.
I would have run over there to.
Unhand me!
No!
I am being oppressed, people. Can't you see?
I'm being oppressed.
Yeah, you're being oppressed with a stolen voice.
That's not your real face, and that's not your real voice.
Ungo says.
Okay. He looks at you. Let's have a look. Can you roll an intimidation, Ungo?
Sure, why not?
Oh,
3. So intimidating.
He says, "I will not quail in front of one such as you."
You're a quail?
Now,
looks like a quail.
What about who haven't we had? Celeste and Mavis.
Mavis is just gonna keep the distance, just making sure that if he breaks out, he will be the last line of defense.
Okay, Celeste.
Celeste doesn't recognize the voice because she didn't meet him, so she's just kind of going to stand there and try to prevent him from running away or pulling away from Phryne.
Okay.
I want to try to reach up to poke where his beak should be.
Oh, okay. You poke where his beak should be, and Phryne, can you roll another athletics for me? It's opposed. He's saying, unhand me, I say. All right, and your vice-like grip, you have a differential of 15. So you,
down to the ground.
Phryne the bouncer.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. He sort of after two successful grappling, he sort of his bravado cracks. Let's see.
If I'm correct,
Yep.
if you are aware that something is an illusion, you can kind of see through it. It becomes kind of like a see-through for everyone who is aware. So the question is, would Ango be seeing his actual form?
I'm just checking. Yeah, so your finger hits something solid, and you can hear snap, snap, snap when you go to poke him in the nose. And you can tell that it's sort of like an illusion, but you don't see what he really looks like. So you can see that there's this hologram covering him. And he says, "Unhand me and keep your mouth away from your finger away from my mouth, or you'll lose it, sir."
So I think at that point, Mavis would try to send a message towards what was his name? Kendall or something?
Candlefoot.
Kendall?
Yep.
Candlefoot, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would just keep pointing in random directions, generally where we last left him until it hits.
Okay.
I think the distance is like 120 feet or something.
Be in range?
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just...
Yeah, so you just keep trying.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. You better. Well, let's hear the result. Does that work?
You don't get any message back.
Can't talk anyway.
Yeah. But just let him know, come to the lake. I think we might have found you, the person who stole your voice.
But he says, I didn't mean it. I must disrupt the carnival. I'm required to. I only took his voice for a bit because I can't speak, you see. I'm a kinku.
Oh.
Yeah, save it for the court.
He says I was going to give it back.
It's good.
I was just gonna give him like a side look and like, really?
and a witchlight hand nearby, because there's been a bit of a kerfuffle, obviously, and they would come in, and if someone's grappling someone else, normally they would be escorting people out the door. But one of them says, that they'll go and fetch Candlefoot.
Good. You're gonna get it now.
And he sort of sits on the ground and says, "I won't go, it's all right. I am resigned to my fate." He seems to be a very dramatic sort.
I'm not done. she's just gonna like look at him with like his wrist still in her hand. It's like, I'm not a fucking idiot. Like,
he says, "It's okay.
I'm gonna keep...
It's okay, beautiful lady. You may unhand me."
Ungo wants to know, who made you do it?
He says, "It was years ago. I made a pact with Zybilna, an archfey. She rules the domain of Prismia."
Oh, Zybilna again. Always Zybilna.
"Oh no, I'm convinced something is amiss."
What makes you say that? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, because as soon as he mentions Zybilna, Bryony's just gonna kind of like loosen her grip, and kind of just like let her fall away.
Okay. He doesn't run, and he says, "Zybilna is no longer she no longer speaks to me through magic."
We met one of her patrons.
She too is my
What's
patron.
the opposite of a patron?
No.
Warlock.
Yeah. we met one of her warlocks, Medric. Is that he was looking for Zybilna.
I know no magic, but if he's one of hers, then must be very sad.
Yeah, he was worried.
I've been trying to get audience with that damnable witch and light, and they keep giving me the cold shoulder, pushing me off. They know more than they're letting on.
Oh, the problem is that we believe the same thing. We kind of...
Perhaps we should join forces.
Perhaps. First,
I just look to the group.
let me ask you another question. What do you know about the Covenant? The Hourglass Covenant, was it?
The Witcher Water?
The carousel said something about witches taking over the. Oh no, it wasn't the carousel. At the cupcake eating contest afterwards, someone was mentioning that there was a coup of some sort in the at the realm, and they mentioned the witches.
Okay, you get a sense that his eyes open and they're boggling at this thought as he realises that might be what have happened to his patron. He says, "I don't know about this witch. We don't use the W word."
Nomenclature aside, when was the last time your patron, your lady,
It's what people
spoke to you?
it's what people call us warlocks before they burn us.
Very well. So the question still stands. When was the last time you heard from her?
It would have been. It would have been D4. Days ago. Medric said it was for a long time now.
Okay.
Well, time, from what I remember, is that time. I don't know. Well, out of character, you know how
Would have been years
day
ago.
works.
Could have been
Yeah.
years of those days here.
Time goes differently on the Feywild. What can be a minute to one is years to another.
Yes, I'm aware. In any case, is there any particular reason why you're going around heckling and trying to disturb the carnival?
Well, I thought if I could make the carnival so disrupted, I might get audience.
And that helps you how?
Well, it gets me in front of them at least to confront them about their misdeeds.
It's not wrong.
Why? Yes, but why not just try the top hat? That's what we did earlier, without any effort, in fact.
Well, I'm not as good at staring competitions, and it is
Okay.
easier to destroy than to create, they say.
Perhaps. Anyway, is the Candlefoot on his way?
Yes, and Candlefoot does rock up eventually. And Kettle Steam acquiesces and says, I'm sorry, friend Candlefoot, I required a voice only momentarily, and he gestures and something happens. And you see Candlefoot's eyes go wide and he says, "My God, I've got it back!"
Yay!
Oh,
Remove that from the list of things to do.
Well, now that mission is accomplished, perhaps you can have a more constructive conversation.
And Kettlestein says, yes, I was trying to describe they have a book, and I think it's a journal of some sort, but it's definitely something that they keep very close watch on, and it may have key phrases or words or information. Who knows? Something. Notes.
Hmm.
And I
Because,
was
Where do
thinking-
they keep it?
It's in the caravan. In their caravan.
Is it sort of a ledger or more of a journal?
No, it's more like a book of contacts, I think. Names and places.
Little black book.
I see.
He says, if you want to go for it, I will be at the crowning, or maybe two, or some of you could go to the crowning, and others sneak in, and we make sure that we distract them and warn whoever's going for it.
The crowning, I understand that all of the staff members are present. It's a big occasion after all.
Well, most staff members, there'd be a skeleton staff around the place. We'd have to do something. And Kettlestein seems to be on board with this. He's nodding, and he starts to gesticulate.
Oh,
Okay.
now we can't hear him.
And let's see, I'll just get Discord back. Yeah, and he starts to show his face, and then
Well,
and he
what's his name again?
Kettle Steam, and he gets out a wand.
Oh, Kettlestick.
Oh, he's got a wand. Did he change his face?
Yep.
Oh, that could
Well,
be.
I think. Well, I'm gonna look at to Kettlestick. It's like, well, it seems that we have a common goal. One of them is to find Zybilny. Shall we team up?
Wait a minute. Candlefoot, do you forgive him? The bird. Pointing at the bird.
He says, "I forgive you," in his sort of grandest gesture of
Okay.
self-importance.
Uh-huh.
Okay, before we get lost in the spirit of camaraderie and overall joy of forgiveness, another question: the coronation. You mentioned the skeleton crew will be left behind around the caravan. How many people do you reckon?
I would say 1 or 2 at best.
1 or 2.
And I
What do you think?
I might be able to coax one away myself.
That'll be very helpful. What do you think, Ango? You seem like a sneaky type. Is it something that you'll be up to?
Yeah, I'll try.
On the other hand, I'm also I'm worried that whatever is inside the caravan, like everything else, might not make perfect sense. There's strange magic afoot.
You
Maybe
just
someone-
distract him. I'll get it.
Very well. What if it's enchanted, protected by some kind of spell?
Well, what if Kettlestein was out?
Is there anything you can do? I will look at him.
He gets his wand out and then points at Ungo and gestures me and you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm kind of tempted to just give him my voice for like a short period of time and then get him off.
I mean,
Because like, I am not going to be able to go on this stealth mission because I do not have any dex. She is not sneaky.
Rain is the what was the wizard or
She's a
Great.
cleric.
cleric? Okay.
Yeah. Are you wearing armor under that cloak and wings?
I'm just wearing normal, just leather armor.
Leather armor.
Yeah.
What about
Well-
you, Celeste? Are you sneaky at all?
I am a little sneaky,
Okay.
like almost like a +2 sneaky.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
I don't have my max sneakiness going yet, but I do have a +5.
Okay.
Well,
Candlefoot
Right.
suggests that if he goes with the whole group to the crowning, and Kettlesteam and Ungo sneak in.
yes, if the two sneak in, Candlefoot can distract one of the remaining skeletal crew.
Ah, true.
I think we should require someone to watch out, like be a stakeout, just in
Burley.
case.
Burley
Yeah,
will do it.
Burley.
Burley will do it.
Burley's on our side. He's our buddy.
Very well. Now, I guess the rest of us will be charged in keeping Mr. Light and Mr. Witch away for a long enough duration. I might periodically contact you, and I'll do a message to just let him know how it feels. Using a bit of magic, you can reply to any messages like this with a short sentence or two. So you don't have to even you don't have to speak out loud. Just a small whisper will be enough. Only I will be able to hear it anyway.
Okay. So is that the plan? We'll I'm just gonna I'll find another map. It's a little bit.
I mean, of course, if anyone has other ideas, I assume now is the time.
Is there anything we can give Ungo? 'Cause I was going to cast guidance, but it only lasts a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
show
thought
you a
guidance
bird?
as well.
I don't know. I'll pat him on the shoulder and look him in the eye and say, a lot depends on this. I'm sure you'll do great, and you'll get a bardic inspiration. So that's a D6. You can
That
add
is
to any roll.
inspiring because of
Yeah.
Ungo's huge sense of responsibility and duty.
So yeah, D6 to any roll other than death save, which I hope you won't need.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I've called up the staff area again.
Okay.
Let's see. And I've got Ungo and Kettlestein with Celeste, Mavis and Phryne off at the big top.
Yep.
Burley does when Candlefoot and Kettlestein approach Burley with you. He looks at you and says, "You've got a plan now. Okay, that sounds like a better plan than my plan. I'll go guard." And try to make up a reason for other people not to go in. And Kettlestein gestures to you, Ungo, and casts, gets his wand out and points it at you, and you feel your form shifting. Do you want to? How do you want to look? It's a disguise self.
Well, is there a staff member I could pretend to be? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, well, there's all the ones you know. Candlefoot, and a couple, the guy at the ticket booth, and all the ones that you've seen just at the different sales and games and things.
So Candlefoot, as far as everyone knows here, still can't talk, right?
5.
So I could be Candlefoot. We know he's not going to be here, and I won't have to say anything.
Yep.
Makes sense, but you need to keep in mind that the disguise doesn't change your height.
Well, it can make me look. If it's disguised self, it should be able to make me look taller.
I think up to 1 foot.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's not going to be enough then to be Candlefoot. I think Candlefoot like a normal height individual, right?
Yep. There was the gnome at the ticket booth.
I can be the poem gnome.
Yeah, the poem gnome. Go ahead.
There was a goblin at the ticket booth. There was some goblins at the bubble pot.
There was, and a goblin at the ticket booth too.
How about one of the goblins at the bubble teapot thing?
Okay. All right, so you change into a bubble top teapot goblin, and Candlefoot is just going to lurk at the entrance, and you get to the point where you enter. I'm just moving Candlefoot out. He's not here. And how are you going to go through? Burley can open up the thorns for you.
Yeah, it depends on what I see.
Okay, you see an empty area, and there's a clown.
Fatco's here?
Yeah.
Is he looking over here? Is he?
No, he's just having a bit of a wander, and he's mucking around with his dagger. And you can see, if I ping over here, there's a red chair with a mandolin next to it. And Thaco's sort of lined up the chair, and then he sort of walks back to this point by the yellow wagon. And he sort of looks at the wagon, and he just stands there for a moment. I assume he's just pausing for a minute just to observe what's going on. And then he spins around and throws the dagger, and it goes... spins over and over. And goes straight through the slats in the chair. And he curses and kicks the ground and then walks over to go and pick it up again.
So... The caravan, is that this...
Red and white one, the big one at the opposite end.
That's this big tent, that's their caravan? Okay, so I gotta get in there. I think Ungo will try to creep around She's gonna go for the stealth move. He's gonna try to creep around the outside of here if he can.
Sure, you can have advantage with the light.
And then he'll wait until, assuming he keeps throwing these knives.
Yeah.
He's gonna move out in the open when he's looking away from him, and then he'll try to run across here when he's walking back over to get his knife.
Okay. All right, so he does. Thaco sort of, I'm going to move him. This is like the guard's movement sort of thing. He goes over, collects his dagger from by the fire, and then walks back to the yellow van again. You can roll your stealth with advantage.
Yeah. 25.
Natural 20. Okay. So you get all the way around.
Nice.
You're very close to the wagon, to the main tent, and Thaco hasn't seemed to have spotted you at all.
This is a tent, so like you could look under the edge, right?
You suspect so? Yep.
Well, let me do that. Rather than foolishly going through the front door, let me try and peek under the edge and see if there's anybody in there.
Okay. You peek under. And there's no one in there.
All right. Can I maybe wriggle in there then?
Yeah, you wriggle inside.
Awesome. Then I will look around for a journal.
Okay. This is more about a number of collective successes. So can you roll an investigation for me?
All right. Maybe I should just look around to decide where to investigate.
It's a bit of a jumble. So you're just doing a search at the moment.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh my god. So his stealth is a natural 20.
Wow.
This is the chapter dice rolls of the chapter now. Okay, and you get another natural 20 with your investigation. And basically you think, oh, it's probably under there. So you go to there, lift it up, and it's not there. But then you go, yeah, well, definitely there'll be this rug. I can see that it's raised and there's a square shape underneath it. And you find this small journal.
Cool. Please open that and make sure there's writing in there.
Okay,
Is that a blank journal?
Yep.
It looks like it's probably what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Cool. Ungo's not a bad guy, so he's not going to steal anything else.
Okay. In fact, with this, you pretty quickly determine the page that's important.
What we got?
And it says Prismea passphrase. It's written in a sort of code, but you can tell that it's as obvious to that to you.
Okay. Is there a lot? There's a lot here. Like, am I going to be able to memorize this, or should I take this with me?
You need to. Let's see.
You can cut the page out.
There's the page.
I could rip the page out. Okay. Yeah, sure. Where was it? Where was the book?
Underneath underneath a chest and a rug.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let me rip the page out. I'll just take the page with me
Okay.
and leave the book. That's a good plan.
All right.
Then I will
You
just
take the
attempt
book.
to go back the way I came since it works coming in.
Okay. All right. So you can roll another stealth again with advantage.
Let me use a bardic inspiration on that one.
Okay. You got an 11 so far.
Is that a what is that? Is that a D6? Okay.
I think. Yeah, D6.
Add 3 more.
Okay.
So 14.
Thaco, where are you? Thaco. I'm checking his passive. Okay, you managed to sneak past him. You think it was pretty. You know it was pretty close. There's parts where you made a bit of a twang and almost tripped on a cord holding the tent up. But with that inspiration, you make it past. In fact, you needed the inspiration to pass. You finally make your way out of the tent. And Kettle Steam is there giving you a fist bump.
Oh no, I'm becoming attached.
Okay. Let's move to Phryne, Mavis and Celeste. There, where are we? Big top. And we'll crank down some good music. There we go. Can you see this resolving? I'll just jump back to the tent. I'll grab Ungo as well. You may as well see what's going on. Okay. How's it looking now? You seeing inside the big top?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mr. Witch, Mr. Light. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so as you're going to the big top, you can see many people are also filing there. The crowd has thinned out a little bit. Not everyone makes it all the way to the very end of the night. It's a big night running, 8 hours of opening time. And all the spectators take their seats in the big top, and you first hear this roar, which causes all the din to die down, as this enormous displacer beast comes sort of stalking proudly into the ring, and it's Dillagrawn, who you know, and he's Dillagrawn, or she is escorting Mr. Witch from his wagon to the coronation, and seemingly leaving Thaco, his bodyguard, behind. And Mr. Witch and Dillagrawn stand on the sidelines next to Candlefoot as Mr. Light gives an opening speech. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase, but he says every night on the at the culmination of all events from the evening, as you have felt, the mood of the carnival is shifted by the actions of you, our treasured guests. And he sort of gestures grandly, and whomsoever has contributed the most to the evening's mood, for the better of us all, shall be crowned the Witchlight monarch. He says, it is not something that we mere mortals decide, the carnival itself. It's like a Harry Potter sorting hat type of deal. And there's this, and everyone's all whispering to each other. And let's have a look. And Mr. Light passes this hat box to Mr. Witch. And let's see. And out of it comes this golden light, just a pinpoint of light, sort of shifting from yellow to amber. And as it moves, it spins a thread of gold as it winds its way up and down through the crowd. Let's see. So I can draw. And it comes from them both and starts making its way around, through the crowd. And every time it goes past someone, it's like past the parcel. But it pretty much gets to here and then tilts and goes over in this direction. And as it pretty much makes a way towards your direction, to your surprise.
No, go away.
And it sort of goes around here and then circles and spirals around. And spirals down and then stops above Phryne.
I'm just like, uh-oh.
You're looking up at this light.
Just gonna kind of just sink in a chair.
And everyone's it's selected. And the people next to you, it's like when you catch a baseball or something, out of the crowd, and everyone's sort of looking a little bit envious. But also, wow, well, I'm sitting next to... And Mr. Light sort of takes a couple of steps over and says, "Aha! I could have guessed as much. Arise." And are you going to stand up? And he gestures for you to come down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Celeste encourages her, like, "Yay, yay!"
Woo, woo, woo! You got getting the fist bump going.
And I just looking back. I was like, "You do like this?"
Okay.
Okay.
And eventually you're over next to Mr. Light, and Mr. Witch comes and stands beside you, and he sort of gives you this sort of gruff, not shaking it, nodding of his head. Well done, well done. I wouldn't have guessed it, but yes. And Mr. Witch goes
You're
off.
just as surprised as I am.
Mr. Witch removes this crown as he lifts it up, it moves, and it's not. Initially it looks like he's got a butterfly on each of his fingers, but he's holding it, and it's a ring of butterflies, and it's almost as if they're attached or flying in unison. But there's no crown as such. But he lifts it as if it's a solid crown, and he says, "Behold, a new monarch. May she reign in majesty." And he sort of lowers it down, and the crowd goes berserk, and some clowns come out and start throwing glitter all over the place.
I guess at this moment, Mavis will try to contact Unger, see how he's going.
How's it going? Am I done? When does this happen?
This is both happening in sync pretty much. So we'll sort of shift scene by scene as if two parallel activities. Let's see. And as the crowd starts going berserk, you hear that the haunting melody of Palasha as she sings a joyous song as pixies come out and flutter all around of her.
Yeah. So when Mavis contacts Unger, he would basically just ask how much time he needs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, at the point I'm contacted, has Ungo already got the book?
Yep. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you managed to contact Ungo, he says, "Yeah, I've got it. I'm out on the main street."
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Mr. Witch and Mr. Light gesture to you, Mavis and Celeste, and say, "And now the procession." And I don't have it on here, but all of the sort of crowd is does a lap, and people start joining. It's like a conga line, but it's more like the way Jack Nicholson dances as the Joker. A little bit creepy, a little bit tap dancey, or Christopher Walken in
Your weapon of choice.
Weapon of mass. Yeah,
weapon of choice. Weapon of mass destruction. Yeah, weapon of choice. And Franny, you lead the way, and Franny, you feel these. Aside from this crown of butterflies, you get anointed from your shoulders, and they both bow to you and say, "Arise, Majesty," and you sprout a pair of butterfly wings, the ones that are on your back, the ones that are tied on, but they seem attached to your shoulder blades.
Cool.
Like they're actually there?
They're actually there. And he says it'll only last a moment, but you will be able to summon your monarch's wings 3 times.
Okay.
If that does what I think it does, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. That seems good.
So, yeah, so long as you've got this is called the Charm of the Monarch. And you can choose to sprout a pair of beautiful butterfly wings. As long as you've got these wings, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and a bonus to your charisma-based ability checks.
Cool.
Amazing. Did someone get like a powder of flying?
Someone did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, pixie dust.
Yeah. Pixie dust.
Yeah. Celeste, Mavis, are you coming and joining in the procession?
Mavis is
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say Celeste grabs Mavis
Right.
and drags him down with her.
Okay, come on,
and here I go relaxingly.
Mr. Glum. Okay, so they do a lap of the inside of the ring with all of the incredible beasts and acrobats and fire breathers and stuff. But it's not a big top event. It's more like a procession. And they do one lap of victory as they all follow. And Mr. Witch and Mr. Light leave a little deferential, space so that Franny can obviously goes first. And after they do this lap, both Mr. Witch and Mr. Light stand on either side, and Mr. Light takes over and says, "And now that concludes our events for the evening. Go with joy, return to your homes, and come again in 8 years' time when we return." And Franny, you're sort of expected to lead the group out the door.
Oh yeah, as soon as they're at the exit, I'm like, pew!
Okay, so you three are
Beeline.
la-da-da-da-da-da. Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm. And Candlefoot sort of steps in line behind you and joins in the little line. And of course, all the other carnival goers join with you as well.
Okay. There's like a stream going for an exit.
It is a stream, but it turns into like the end of a sports carnival and stuff. People mill around, some people stop, and people snake around each other. And Candlefoot goes, "Okay," and sort of, I guess you can make your way and join back up with Kettlesteam and Ungo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Candlefoot says, "I am the ticket master of the Hall of Mirrors, and can let you in." He can't. He just cannot whisper.
Oh, very well. I think that's a good spot as any. Let us reconvene there.
Okay. Now let's see. All right. I'm just thinking it's 10:10. We've gone, and that's just after 2 hours in. It'd be good for me if I could grab a coffee and so on.
Yeah.
Should we take
that
10
sounds good.
minutes?
I was just thinking that.
Okay. All right. So back at 10:20.
Got it.